with loads of different network marketing companies. The really good ones get up, they tell you the company they're with, whatever, network marketing company that is, and they talk about the product.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there who, when they do this, they get up and they'll tell you, well, I'm a coach and I will coach you on how to get residual income. It's like, that's a little less above board than telling people who you are. And it gets worse when it goes online, because when you go on LinkedIn, there's something very popular. You'll see the job title of consultant at self-employed. And when you connect to these people, or they connect with you, you find out it's a multi-level marketing company and they're trying to sell you. Well, I've written articles about this. If you cannot proudly say who you are working for, you're in the wrong business. And that doesn't just go for network marketing companies, that's any company. So you really want to see how people are behaving in the companies.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things. A lot of people get into network marketing just to make the money. And these are the types of people that you see right through they're a little bit vague about that. And all they're trying to do is get people in their business. And they're not really that much into what the products are all about and the value added and so on. And these are the people that you see bouncing back and forth from opportunity to opportunity that don't really do that well. You mentioned that the product is so important, and I always started with the value added. And one of the nice things about send out cards and your good MLM companies is that they train you how to do this. They train you about the questions to ask and how to present yourself and so on and so forth. And I used to have on my card for send out cards, client retention specialist. And one of the big things about networking is to get people to ask you a question as far as how do you do that? And I said, okay, do you know that even if you know somebody very, very well, if you don't pay attention to them, 90% of the time you're going to lose them as a customer because other people are going to pay attention to them and take you away. The biggest reason that people lose clients is because of perceived indifference. And I told them send out cards is a method where you could actually just set up as campaign quarterly to send out an appreciation card to all of your customers that goes out like clockwork just by putting in a half an hour of work today. And all of a sudden you have a client retention system. And again, 75% of the people that you lose is due to perceived indifference. So these are really, really great buzzwords, and your uplines and the companies themselves, by identifying what their value added is and what they really, really do, it's important. Obviously, perceived indifference is one of the things in client retention for customers, but just being able to reach out to somebody in kindness because you're thinking about it and having it be in a done deal within a few minutes is just so powerful. And the bottom line is, it's just so cool having people walk up to me maybe months after saying, thanks for the card, when I had totally forgotten that I sent it to them. It's all about unconditional giving, but it's just such a great system. And other MLMs have fantastic value addeds too. And that's the reason you do things. And you're going to do well by flaunting that and working because of that, because you're doing something that you like to do and what you're meant to do.
Right. Something you need to ask yourself before getting involved in a network marketing company is, if it weren't a network marketing company, if it was a different opportunity with the same product and the same value add, would you be interested? It's no different than a side hustle or a new career. You have to find the one that fits your beliefs and what you do. If you really believe in the product, you're going to be able to sell it so much easier than if you're going into an MLM in someone's downline going, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. I could get a couple extra bucks.
Yep. It never works out that way. So, but some of the big time advantages of this, and there were 10 things that were listed here, but it's a very small amount of risk. You're just going to put in probably a couple $100 to get the business going, as opposed to starting a business yourself. Number two, there's a huge demand for quality products, and every business needs repeat customers. And that's what multi-level marketing is built upon, is selling good products that people buy over and over again. Obviously, the residual income is great just by getting customers there and people in your downline who are selling products for you. You're going to be getting paid for their efforts too, and that's where the multi-level comes in. The income potential, the bottom line is, whereas when you have a job, hopefully you're going to get a raise every year and so on and so forth, but it's not going to be enough moving ahead. There's no income limit in multi-level marketers who do well. There are great success stories about people who are making lots and lots of money in multi-level marketing. Um, the next one, no employees. Without employees, you don't have a whole lot of headaches. You can start your business from home and work there. Another one is no inventory. These companies now, they have the inventory and they just drop ship from their place, so you don't have to stock things like you used to with Amway when you bought the starter kit 20 or 30 years ago. You'd have to stock a couple $1,000s worth of stuff in your garage and turn that stuff over. That's all gone now because you're doing everything online. Therefore, your operating costs are a whole lot lower. It's a great business for leverage because obviously you're leveraging other people, you're leveraging businesses that are buying your products who are referring you to other people. And it's a very, very portable business. Really, all you need is internet access. I mean, I've sent cards from vacations in Europe and the Caribbean and so on and so forth, and been able to communicate with people. And obviously, the freedom that you can get from doing this, doing something that you love at your own pace whenever you want to do it, is really, really fantastic. So there's a whole lot of upsides to this. And but again, it starts with something that you love to do. And the bottom line is, you asked the question about the products and would I be buying greeting cards from Send Out Cards if I wasn't a distributor? I certainly would, because it's just a great way to do it. Very, very easy and inexpensive, and keeps me on top of things from a gratitude standpoint.
Going back to one of those advantages that you mentioned, the drop shipping. If you're interested in getting involved in a network marketing company, make sure that they do this, because there are some companies that have not gotten that set up yet, and they still require you to keep inventory. So make sure that when you're talking to the company reps, they handle all the shipping, they handle all the storage, because otherwise you're going to end up with a closet, a room, a garage full of merchandise that you're going to have to sell. So make sure that the company is up to date on that.
Yeah, and that's all part of your due diligence. I mean, you should be able to go right to their website and see whether they are or they're not. And again,
Yes.
part of your due diligence is just asking around, seeing if people have heard that. If you are doing a lot of networking and so on and so forth, ask some of your friends that you network with if they'd ever heard of this company and so on. I mean, some MLMs that are starting up are probably very legit, are going to be doing very, very well in a short period of time, but others aren't. So it's so important to do that due diligence up front.
Right. And something else to look into, especially now, is the technology that they're using. With technology changing so quickly, some of the network marketing companies have been really good at staying up to date and making it easier and easier for you to use their systems, for you to take advantage of technologies, to sell through social media, things like that. There are others that have sort of fallen by the wayside in terms of technology. Unfortunately, one of the ones that has had these technology problems is actually a product that I grew up with and I'm a big fan of, Tupperware. You need to make sure that when you're getting involved, it's going to be as easy as possible for you, and you're not going to have a very steep learning curve, or again, finding yourself behind the times. Realistically, when was the last time you heard of somebody having a Tupperware party? The company is still out there, but they've been struggling for years now.
Yeah, and it's obviously one of the nice things about Send Out Cards, because it is a system that you use on the internet. They have wonderful training tutorials on there for you yourself, but also to show your customers and so on and so forth. Where basically it has a list of all the questions there, and if you click on the question, there's a video that shows you how to use that feature of the system. So it's really, really fantastic for your clients. And then if you are doing the business as a distributor, um, it has all the how-tos as far as, this is how you do a presentation, this is how you do this, and this is how you do that. So really, the support system is very, very important for your clients who are just customers, but also for people who are in your downline to reference, so that basically what you're going to do is you're going to keep in touch with people and have people use these things first, and then keep in touch with them to see if you can help them out if they have any questions above and beyond that. So I mean, that's one of the big pluses of Send Out Cards, is that everything as far as how to use the system is there, which is fantastic.
Right. And again, most of the answers you'll want to find are on the company's websites, but I highly recommend going to networking meetings, finding people who have interacted with the company, finding people who are involved or have had experiences with the companies. Ask one-to-one. There's nothing better than getting information from somebody who's gone through it and worked with the system.
Oh, absolutely. And most of your majors do have like annual conferences or regional trainings and this and that, whatever, which I've been involved with, a lot. Haven't done a lot of them recently, but those are all out there also. So it's really, really important to, again, it's a mentoring business. You have to be mentored by the person that brought you in or their upline or whatever. It's really, really important to have some support that way. And if you're getting in there, just remember that it is a relationship business and you need to learn it yourself. And if you do plan on getting other people in there, you've got to be ready to really, really learn this and help them out to do it. And the companies themselves should make it easy to do so.
Right. And one of the biggest failings that I've seen from people who get involved in network marketing companies and they can't make it work is that you have to remember that this is a business, the same as any other business. You have to be able to keep your books. You have to be able to deal with your customers. It's not something that you're signing up for and money is going to magically materialize. It's a business like any other, and you have to work it like any other.
Yeah, absolutely. The bottom line is if you don't, a lot of these businesses will actually take care of all that for you as far as making sure that you're going to get your 1099s or whatever. And they'll be like Send Out Cards. They do the sales tax for all the different states that they sell in and that kind of thing too. But you got to make sure that you're covered for that, because the bottom line is the IRS isn't going to care if your company does it or they don't do it if you don't do it yourself. So you're still going to be
Right.
So
Yes, the IRS tends to be unforgiving about these things. So make sure either it's being handled by your back office or you're on top of these things. All right, so we're just about at the end of our time. So, Chip, what's the big takeaway for our listeners?
big takeaway is that MLMs are fantastic opportunities, and I recommend taking a look at something that you love yourself as far as using as a product or doing as a product. And if you are interested in doing that, there's opportunities out there where you can just make a little bit of investment, and if you're willing to learn and go out and develop relationships and so on and so forth, you can develop a lot of customers. And if you want to get distributors in your downline, there's fantastic opportunity to do that. But I would definitely start with something that you love doing or that that you can vouch for yourself. And the opportunity is fantastic with a little bit of cost, but definitely a lot of effort.
Fantastic. I think for me, the big takeaway is that this is a business like any other. So you need to make sure you're going to be happy in this business. You need to do your due diligence and make sure it's a company you want to be involved in. And three, you've got to be proud of what you're doing. It's got to be a product or service that you are happy having other people use. Same as any other business. If you wouldn't start a business with this sort of a product, that network marketing company's probably not for you. You've been listening to the Success Showcase. You can catch us every week at xvadio.com/podcasts. You can also catch us on the Apple Podcasts app, the iTunes Store, Spotify, iHeartRadio app, and wherever you find podcasts. Remember, make this your best week ever and make next week even better. See you then.